What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another video on the channel. And today we're going to be talking about how at age, second grade, age, whatever age that is, I was a supervillain. Okay, all right. So first off, we have the infamous me getting in trouble for absolutely no reason. And if you guys have any experience with this, let me know down in the comments because it's honestly kind of funny. So when I was in second grade, right? One time I had this teacher, and so she told me like I needed to go like read a book or something like that. Like I was reading like picture books because I'm in second grade, and like I'm a straight A student. Don't get me wrong, but I'm still really stupid. But she told me to go read a book, right? Like a chapter book. So I go and read the chapter book, and I read it in 30 minutes. And then she gets mad. She's like, "There's no way you read that all in that amount of time." So I read the book again in 30 minutes again, and I even go back and read it a third time to make sure I read it all this time. And this time, she's just like, "Wow, you must have really read it in that time." So she gives me an AR test, right? I get 100 on the test, 100 on every other AR test after that. I was the first second grader to get 200 points in an entire year. I got a big poster and everything. I don't know if I still have it, but it was pretty chill. Alright, so now moving on to third grade, we had this other teacher. This is a different teacher now, and she had a bunch of crazy stories, but she like hated me. Like we had this handwriting book, and she would give it to you and was like, "All right, we're gonna write it down together." So I was like, I don't need this teacher. I can just do this on my own. So I started doing it before she finished talking how to write a cursive C. All right. So I finished at the end. She comes over to me and she's like, "How are you already done? There's no way you wrote your C's that fast because a cursive C is literally just a normal C with like a little curve on the end. It's the exact same thing." And so I'm like, it's pretty easy, you just draw a C." And she's sitting there like, "Well, that is incorrect. You must have cheated." I was like, okay." I'm sitting there and she's just like getting angry at me. It's actually kind of hilarious. And then I do the exact same thing the next day. She yells at me. I got close to like getting in trouble, like with the principal. But that stuff all comes up the 8th grade year, actually the 7th grade year. All right, so we move up to 4th grade. Still the same teacher. Oh my gosh, this year even gets more hilarious. We lose the 4th graders, right? The 4th graders were funny as heck that year. We build an assembly line so we don't have to turn our homework in, right? So we had a little homework basket, and we had one kid sit next to it. I'm gonna lose this game. We had one kid sit next to it, and we'd hand him all the stuff, and he put it all in there. She yelled at me because apparently I like created the idea somehow. So like I was that kid who got in trouble for everything. One time we was out at recess and I got tackled by like an 8th grader, and I got in trouble for aggravating the 8th grader. We were playing football, man. I literally just screamed touchdown because I was a 3rd grader and we beat the 8th graders like every time. It was kind of amazing. But I get yelled at for that. One time we got football banned from our school because I got hurt. So apparently it was my fault that we got football banned. Like I got talked to, and I was like, "It's your fault that we got football banned because you got your head hit." I really got smoked in the head by a fellow 4th grader, and we got it banned. Like I'm like, this is not my fault. All right, so moving on to 5th grade year, this is where stuff getsinteresting. Oh, SB737, what's going on? So 5th grade year, we have this kickball tournament every year, right? And so they finally put me in it, and like me and my friend who's in 6th grade actually, we were both pretty good at kickball. All right, so we get put on the same team. Everybody starts talking about it towards the teachers, and like the teachers tell us we're gonna have to like go sort of easy on them. We did not go sort of easy on them. An eight, an 8th grader at the time kicked it straight towards me. I got like knocked backwards, but like I caught that thing, and that's pretty impressive because I was in like 5th grade. Cause like what am I doing? I need to go back to parkour. Nope, not this. Okay. Uh, so yeah. So that year this kickball tournament, we got in trouble because we didn't go easy enough on the youngins. The youngins, man. The youngins. Yeah. We're like this is not our fault. We're like, what did we do? And like, so they're sitting there getting mad at us. They're just like, you guys are better than, I mean, you guys they didn't say you guys are better, but like they said you guys need to like chill out on the like third graders and stuff. He's like, you get to play in third grade and well, but like you don't really get to play. Like they said, you need to go easy on those guys because we were telling them they were out when we were supposed to just say, "Oh yeah, you're still in. My fault. Just let me give you guys a free point." We're like, "No, we're not doing that." So we both yelled out. We both get taken to the teachers' lounge, and we're both sitting in the teachers' lounge, and like we're just chilling there, and we're like laughing. And so the teacher comes in and tells us exactly what I just talked about, and like we're just sitting there like laughing our butts off because it's just hilarious. So we go home the next day, come back, scot free. All right, 6th grade, April Fool's Day. April Fool's Day goes ham. We went into the school, and we like triple stacked everyone's desks. It was hilarious. It was hilarious. We helped take them all down though because the teachers figured out it was me. The teachers figured out it was me, so I went and helped everyone take their stuff down. But like it was hilarious. We got into the school, and the teacher came up to me, and she was just like, which one of you did this? Raise your hand." I raised my hand without a doubt. I wasn't letting anyone else take the blame. I raised my hand without a doubt. I was like, "Sir, it was me." I like willingly accepted. I didn't even get in trouble. All I had to do was just help him. It was a harmless April Fool's Day prank. It was kind of funny. Cause like some of the teachers were there, but like okay, so some of the kids were there too. I I didn't even sneak in. I just walked in there and I just like triple stacked the desks. It was hilarious, dude. And so anyways, all right, moving on to 7th grade year. This is probably the best of all the years because I didn't go there anymore 8th grade year. So 7th grade year. Me and that one friend who were in. Oh yeah, back to 6th grade year. We had this entire case of pencils, dude. I would lose my pencil every day. I pretty much emptied out half that box by the end of the year. Dude, my teacher did not like me that year. Holy crap. So anyways, we're just gonna skip 6th grade year. That year was pretty boring, but we're gonna move on to 7th grade year. So 7th grade year. So the first thing that happens, right? We get a new class. All of us hate this class, right? All of us absolutely hate this class. So we're all talking about it, and like we get in trouble for complaining. All right. So we get in trouble for complaining. Then they start yelling at us. One time we were joking around with our teacher. She coughed one time. We're like, "Coronavirus," and we backed our seats out of the room. And we started sitting in the hallway. I got yelled at, bro. I got in trouble. Me. I was like, "What did I do? This is a collective group project. What did I do?" And then later we did a science experiment, and apparently mine exploded too big and made a mess. I was like, "How was that my fault? I did exactly what you told me." And she's just like sitting there getting mad at me, and I'm like, "Come on, man. What did I do wrong?" I'm like, I'm a 7th grade child. What do you want me to do? Oh my gosh, and I missed that jump too. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, what did I do? And she's just like, you know what you did. And I was like, I didn't do it on purpose. Oh my gosh, can I make this jump, please? And so I'm sitting there and she's just like, I'm just like utterly confounded because I'm just like sitting there. I'm like, what did I do wrong? I followed the instructions perfectly. And she's just like, I'm pretty sure you added a little too much. I was like, well, that's not exactly my fault. All right, so anyways, then we move on. We're like in a different class, and so this is April Fool's Day again, right? I bring in my iPod, dude. I played 10 hours of farting noises, and I hid it behind a bookshelf, and they heard it for like an hour. This wasn't nearly as good as as the triple desk stack. But like the triple desk stack was like only my class. My class, I just did it all for my class. It was hilarious. My teacher even laughed at it. It was hilarious. But this one was even funnier because this was during art class. The teacher had no idea. The teacher had no idea where it was coming from. And then eventually at the end of class, she asked me, and she was like laughing too, cause it was funny, bro. All right, we're in 7th grade. That kind of humor is funny. So, uh, yeah. So I get the entire classroom laughing at it. It was just a great day. It was just a great day. But then we had a substitute PE teacher, right? And we're playing dodgeball, and oh my goodness, this was probably the greatest dodgeball game of my life. I tripped over and fell on the ground. The other team had all the dodgeballs. They all threw them at me because like my team, my team was a bunch of like 3rd graders, right? I only had like maybe 1 or 2 older kids, so they all targeted me, right? So I'm sitting on the ground. I dodged all 7 of them. I'm just sitting there confounded by like what I just pulled off, and so like all the kids are like in shock that they just missed like 7 all at the same time. And I was shocked too. Don't get me wrong. And like so I'm sitting there, and then I pick them up. Dude, I used to be a pitcher. I full chucked that thing at them. Like man, we had these blinds in the back. I knocked the blind down, and I was like already in trouble from the teachers. Like, you need to stop throwing it so hard. You need to stop throwing it that hard. And I was like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And then the next time I hit a little kid in the face. I was like, oh no, dude. It's not funny, but like the reaction the teacher had to me was even funnier. Like I got told I got to stop. I had to sit out for a while. So anyways, later that year we go on a trip, right? And we go. I don't even remember when we go to visit, but I remember I was with my friends. We got a triple piggyback going. We got a triple piggyback going, and so one of us fell over. One of us fell over and hit the concrete, perfectly fine and okay. But like, we just got in trouble because of safety purposes. If we get in trouble and the teachers like watch, then they can be like sued or something like that. I don't know, man. But like, no one even got hurt. It was just like a harmless fall. He fell in the grass. But like, so then later on the field trip, we were driving around an ATV, cause like it was part of the tour. Like, I'm pretty sure they were like teaching us how to use the GPS and stuff on it. So we used that, and it was like 3 of us. It was like 3 of us and then the instructor, and we would all take turns. Dude, we were drifting that thing. My group was drifting it. Like I'm not kidding. My group drifted the heck out of that ATV. I'm just kidding. We couldn't drift. We were in 7th grade. We couldn't drift. But like the instructor taught us how to drive it, and like I accidentally hit the gas when it was in brake, and like I was just like, oh shoot, did I do something wrong? And the person's like apologizing to me. I'm like, oh my bad, did I like break it? And I'm like actually like genuinely worried about it, and like uh, cause like in 7th grade I was even stupider than I am now. But like, so I'm saying like sorry and stuff. She's like, it's fine. You literally didn't do anything. You just need to take the brake off or get your foot off the brake. And then the greatest part ever comes. So we're in class, right? And I didn't know what a word meant, and apparently it meant something really bad. So I got sent out to the hallway, and I was like asking what it meant because I didn't know what it meant. And like, so I get sent out of the hallway, and then she says, sit on the bench and think about what you've done. My teacher says, like, we had a bench out there. Sit on the bench and think about what you've done. I was like, okay, I guess I'm not going to class this time. So I just don't go back to class. I sat out there for 30 minutes. She finally comes out there and she's like, have you thought about what you've done? I was like, no. And so she's like, okay, then keep sitting here. She's just like, you're gonna have so much homework. And I was like, okay, that's fine by me, honestly. And so I'm just sitting there, and I fell asleep. I fell asleep on the bench. On the bench. I fall asleep, and she comes back out there and she wakes me up and she's like, "Don't you dare sleep again." So okay, so I was like, okay, I finally thought about what I've done. I apologize for saying the word, and I apologize and everything. Oh my gosh, dude! I was like, I got back into the classroom. But before this happened, I was like dancing down the hallway when she sent me out there to make my class laugh. because like I was somewhat of a clown. I was dancing out there to make my class laugh. Then I got sent to the bench, and then I fell asleep, and then I got yelled at for falling asleep. Like I was sitting on the bench and I fall asleep. She comes out there. She's like, "Why are you sleeping? If you're sleeping again, you're gonna get a detention." I was like, "Okay, my bad." Okay, and then the funniest part of the year. So these two kids, third grade, got in a fight, right? And me and probably my best friend at the time, me and probably my best friend at the time, got in trouble. What? So we get taken to the teacher's lounge, and they're just like, "Have you guys heard about the fight on the playground?" And we're like, "Oh yeah," and like we're both trying to like not laugh whatsoever, and like so she's just like, "You guys need to stop being a bad influence on the kids," and we're like, "We've never gotten in a fight in our lives. We played Foursquare for an entire year straight. What did we do to badly influence third graders?" And they're just like, "Well, maybe you guys like out of school." And we're like, "What did we do out of school? Out of school, we just go home and we play Fortnite on our PlayStations." And so, oh, wrong portal. So then, finally the 8th grade year for a little bit, barely any though. Uh, the 8th grade year, so we had to go to a different school for band class, right? We had to go to a different school for band class. And so one day we had something going on that day, and I was like, I need to be there for marching band. And so she says no, you're not going. So like I'm starting to get angry because I kind of like marching band, but like she's just telling me no, you don't get to go. And I was like, what did I do? And she's like, I'm like genuinely confused, and I'm like, what did I do wrong? And she's telling me like I just can't go. And I was like, okay. And so like everything changed the next year. So when I was in 7th grade, it had to be like 30 degrees for a coat. 30 degrees for a coat. This year it was 60. I was like, I'm not wearing a coat outside. No one else wore a coat last year, and they was like, yeah, you are. You're getting a detention. And so, anyways, later that year, when after I got yelled at by that band thing, yeah, that's pretty much the whole story. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe.